Hey y'all, and welcome back to That's Debatable. I'm your host, Stanza Yvette Esq. And joining me, we have the whole gang today. I'm glad to see y'all back. Let's give it. We missed everyone. We got the gang back. Joining us as always, you know, the culture referee, Ray Daniels. You look good in orange. I like that orange sweater.
Thank you.
Like you in color. Springtime is here.
Man.
Oh, drag. Damn, we can't get through the show.
Go ahead, Jack. Just go.
The queensiest of them all, Jack Danz. And marketing and music executive / guru, Brian Miller.
B. Miller.
B. Miller.
My Republican friend. Happy to be back.
All right, y'all. So, you know, this is the park bitch of the internet. We have a lot to talk about today. Let's hop right into it. The Philadelphia Eagles officially accept the White House invitation for winning the Super Bowl. What are our thoughts?
I don't think politics and sports go together. I don't think we should mix. I think 90% of the nation is too immature to listen to politics and not be biased or not feel something. So I just think we should separate politics and sports. They just, listen, if I won the Super Bowl, I don't give a fuck who in the White House. There's two things I want to go to. I want to go to the White House. I want to go to Disney World. Like, that's just two things you want to go when you win, right? It's like the reward when you win. So not take that from me because some people don't like the guy in the White House. I just think we should separate sports and politics because it doesn't mix that well. It doesn't mix, guys. It's just politics is worse than religion now. Because religion, at least, we don't know what God looks like. He looks like us. But politics, you know who the enemy that you hate looks like. He's an orange hair guy. And I don't know, I hate talking about politics and sports, but that's my thoughts. What you say, Brian? Go ahead, Jack.
Ahead. You the queensiest, man. Look, I'm so curious to hear what you got to say.
I was going to say, I think somebody made a call. You know what I'm saying? Like Goodell probably like called him and said, look, fuck what y'all think. Y'all going to the White House.
Because if you think about it, the NFL, when the NFL had protesting with Colin Kaepernick, they was like, our fan base don't like that. You got to go. So the NFL is a red fan base, right? The NBA is probably blue. You know, like they wear shirts saying, don't shoot us. We love you. Love us. You know, the NFL, they like, nigga, go play that ball and get the fuck off the field. It's a little different.
And you got to remember, I mean, he came to the Super Bowl. So just kind of like, it's kind of like a bad look. Like he came.
What does that mean?
It's business. He came to the Super Bowl.
He's a president.
No, that was the first time in history of the Super Bowl a president sat.
Yeah, Goodell made that call.
Here's what I'm saying.
I doubt all of them go.
Personally, I'm not going. Professionally, I understand. And I'm going to leave it at that. To be honest with you, look, I agree that sports and politics should not mix because, again, you're asking me to do something as a man that I may be against. Like, let's just say he's against every policy the man's ever written. But I, as a player, have to go. But it's my job. So, like I said, personally, I wouldn't go. Professionally, I get it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's like saying don't play a game against a team because we don't like. It's like politics and sports should be left separate to me. Like the president came as a fan. By the way, that's shocking to me that was the first president in history to ever go to a Super Bowl. I didn't know that. You know. But, you know, he went for Kansas City. I thought Philadelphia was standing on that. They accepted the invitation. What's the most American thing you could do?
But you know what's crazy? A lot of presidents don't go to sporting events because it's too open. Like, number one, it's even though you have metal detectors and things of that nature, it's too open. Like, if a mob wanted to rush you, could you get there as security? Sure. But he'd take a L till you got to him.
Hands on him.
Yeah.
And remember, he fucked up Kendrick's performance because he couldn't do no fireworks because he was there.
Yeah.
Okay, Jack.
You know, so.
That's valid.
Yeah.
Good valid point, Jack.
Taken away.
Well, I said it like, okay. Good point. What else we got, Stanza? Like Jack gave a point. I like it.
Okay, Jack, you earning brownie points. Let's go. So we saw LeBron James and Stephen A. have somewhat of an exchange on the court. Stephen A. later confirmed that it had everything to do with LeBron as a son, and it seemed to me he was tucking his tail a little bit. I've never seen Stephen A. speak about something so mellow, especially when athletes come after him. So I'm just interested to know your thoughts on the LeBron. Stephen A. Not what you think about LeBron, but what you think about this situation.
Oh, I can't say what I think about LeBron.
We'll get to that, yes, but I just want to know what you think about the situation as the dad.
My thought is this, is that LeBron is the new Drake. Like, what Not Like Us represents to Drake is what the NBA career of Bronny represents to Bron. It's the one thing you can't say nothing about. You could say I lost 6 finals, but I didn't have as much help. You could say a lot. This is the one. That's why I said on this show, in this exact chair, that this will be the biggest blemish on his record because his son didn't make it to the NBA. His dad co-signed like a creditor. Like, it was only one team that was like willing to do it, and that's because his dad plays for that team. And to me, it's like, I don't know. First of all, I will say this. I thought it happened at the end of the game. The fact that he did it in the middle of the game, I thought it was bitch shit at the end of the game, but the fact that it happened in the middle of the game made me really say that was some bitch shit. And let me tell you why. My nigga, that is your arena. Like what is gonna happen in the arena? Like LeBron knows he could come and be like, and he's gonna catch you off guard. You're gonna be like, what? The body language is gonna read you like, and me like, and then all of a sudden, I'm trying to talk, you like, fuck all that, my son. So I was like, oh, okay. Okay. Meanwhile, you did it right next to the Laker bench. Meanwhile, you did it while Stephen A. is with the head of William Morris in Endeavor, his agent, right? You know what you did. And let me tell you why Stephen A. responded like that. Because he had to. His claim to fame is covering sports. For the time being, the biggest sports star in the NBA cannot hate you. And if he does, like Stephen A. said something, he said, me and LeBron never really speak. It's always high and by. So we never had a relationship. Right. That answers that, right? Mm-hmm. So now you confront him. And it's like somebody run the tape of Stephen A. confronting the coach of the Houston Rockets. No, I'm sorry. LeBron. Do you know what happened when he confronted the coach of the Houston Rockets? Mm-hmm. The coach called him a bitch. And LeBron, little ass boy, this is the guy who's married to Nia Long.
Oh, okay.
Called him a bitch.
I do remember that.
He called LeBron a bitch, and then LeBron said something. He said, what you gonna do about it? Yeah, I called you a bitch, little boy. LeBron didn't do shit but went to the referees. My nigga, if you not gonna do nothing, if that was Russell Westbrook, hey, put your fists up. Right. But LeBron ain't gonna do nothing, so why you running up on me in a place like you're gonna do something when you know you ain't? Because the cameras is on. That took courage for him, by the way. Look at the video of it. It shows you him in there. He's looking at Stephen A. Sitting down. He looks at Stephen A.
He looks directly.
And then he looks at him. And then he goes, fuck it, I'm going to say something. But my nigga, you cannot fight the world for your son. And that is why you shouldn't have put him in the fucking NBA. Because now you took food out of another family's mouth. You took an opportunity from another family for your son selfishly. By the way, I'm not mad at you for doing it, but you can't get mad when people start talking shit and you're mad at that. Now, that's what I don't like. Go away.
Here's the double standard for me. I'm not a LeBron fan, right? I'm a fan as long as he's in a Laker jersey because for me, it's the name on the front of the jersey, not the back. I've been a Laker fan my entire life. If you wore a Laker jersey, I would have to support you. So let me preface it. Let me preface it that way. Here's the thing: the nepotism thing. We've touched it before, right? You're that powerful. That's your son. His aspiration is to play in the league. You use your influence to get him in the league. Okay. However you feel about it, we know that the opposite side has been doing that for years, centuries. And so ultimately, cool. Here's my problem. As a dad, and I'm gonna address this. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. As a dad, you want to protect your son. I get that. The day your son says, "I'm an NBA player," you're not his father. He's a player in the league. He's a grown man. He's not in college anymore. He's a grown man that's getting $8 million, I think, what is it, $4 million a year, right? So, okay, a grown man. I don't need my father to fight my battles. That's number one. Number two, if he was a humble kid and everybody's like, I just want to see the kid thrive. Me too. If he's a good basketball player, but he's not NBA caliber. That's number two. Number three, and this is the reason why LeBron gets no pass. Tweet goes out, still up. I'm sitting here watching Summer League. Bronny would cook these dudes. This is hilarious. This is a joke. No, he would not, sir. No. So you're out here saying, my son's in the league at number 55. I took that opportunity from somebody else. Now my son would kill these niggas.
Can I ask you a question, though?
Sure.
Because there's one difference between LeBron and Bronny. One big difference. You know what that is? One is 6'2" and one is 6'9".
I agree.
He probably was talking crazy thinking he was going to grow a few inches. Real talk,
I think he was talking crazy because he knew that if you got that type of roster on the Lakers, all Bronny has to do, few assists here. I don't think he thought Bronny was going to have a crazy stat line. I think he thought the rookie season would get him beyond like, all right, my son had a cool year, but your son was 0, 0, and 0.
Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? It reminds me of I watching this documentary on 9/11, and they were speaking about the war in Afghanistan, and they said the war was perfect. It was just one mistake that we made. We didn't know what to do after we won. And I think LeBron, Mav, Rich, their whole crew was like, we're going to get him in the league. I don't think no one thought what's going to happen after he get there.
I don't think they thought he was going to be 0, 0, and 0.
That's my point.
I mean, at least
That's
4,
my point.
4, and 4, my
That's
dude.
my point.
Right.
My point. The new joke now is he going to play? Because the only way he plays is if there's a blowout. No, real talk. Is he going to play tonight? If he plays, it's the blowout. It's like, but bro, you did that to him. You put the donkey jersey on your son and got mad when people called him a donkey. You knew what you were doing because you went through it more than anybody. And you did exactly to your son, but it wasn't for your son. It was for you.
But
it was your reputation. It's like Dwayne Wade's son didn't make it to the pros. Nobody saying nothing. Carmelo's son might not make it. Nobody gonna say nothing. But Gilbert Arenas got a son that might make it. But like, you was the father out there like, my son is the best because I'm the best. And everybody gave you that because you are the GOAT. And now people are like, well, we see the genes don't work. The genes didn't help him. Real talk.
Here's the issue, though, going back to your original question. Stephen A., and this is why entrepreneurship is the shit, because if Stephen A. owned ESPN or owned the network he was on, he wouldn't give two shits about LeBron. Yep. He would literally be like, hey, dude, take that shit somewhere else.
By his reaction, I expected something a little more.
You know why, though?
But to your point, you can't have.
It was nothing he could say that will make LeBron look good besides what he said.
Right.
And it's not advantageous for ESPN or the face of ESPN is speaking about the NBA who have a $1 billion contract with in the face of the NBA.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
and he just signed that $100
it's kind of like,
deal.
and it's kind of like, Stephen A. Like, but I think every real nigga that watched it knew what it was. Like, you running up on me in front of people, you know what you putting on the show. Like, I just wish Stephen A. said, "Oh, you gonna do what? What you gonna do?"
And that's the part that I hate, because honestly, when you're in the information business, Stephen A. is in the information business. A lot of it's predicated on who gives him information first. But if LeBron James is like, don't talk to him, and you see the headline says, so many NBA players no longer talk to Stephen A. because of his comments on Bronny. So it's like, one, the league is soft. Two, y'all kowtowing to this bronze sexual culture, which I hate. And then three, it's like,
bronze
okay.
sexual culture, what is that?
So bronze sexuals is what they call them. Like all the people who just blindly follow this nigga for no reason.
It's crazy.
Like, it doesn't really matter what he does. He's right. So, but my thing is, it's like, I get it from that standpoint, because you did just sign a new contract and you can't be this
$100 million
social leper.
Can we have, I want to have a conversation though, because you just triggered something in me. Why is it like today we have such interest in players' lives, right? Like, we all knew Michael Jordan had a wife and had kids, but I mean, nobody gave a fuck if Marcus Jordan, whatever his son's name was, going to be a brand. Like, nobody even cared about that. So my question to you is do you think that the LeBron train is self-inflicted or us-inflicted? Because Michael Jordan never went through this.
I think it's LeBron sought after and oriented by Clutch, because let me put it to you like this, and this is what I tell everybody, and I'll toot my own horn and yours too, Ray. If this existed when we were putting records out in the beginning, shit, we'd have been
billionaires.
Period. Easy. Because again, what these kids won't do today, and taking advantage of having an audience around the world and just needing to know how to connect with them, LeBron James is a master. Look at the video again. LeBron James.
He definitely is, but that's my point. To me, it feels like he controls the media. And like I said, I think this is the first time that other athletes are talking about him in a way where it's like, Brian, I think you tripping.
Yeah.
And I know we got to wrap. We go to the next one, Stanza. I'm just saying. But like, go ahead.
Okay, well, a clip from an interview with DJ Milan and Doechii went viral on social media after Doechii revealed her #1 dating red flag is a heterosexual straight man. The queer rapper has been open about her sexuality, but many folks online are taking issue with her preference. I don't see what the big deal is.
This is so stupid.
I don't see what the deal is.
Listen, bro.
Like, why are we mad about
she
that?
She said
it was a joke,
ago
obviously.
that she doesn't even want to be with a man if he's not bisexual. She said that on the Breakfast Club. Like, I prefer a bisexual man. That's who she is. So whatever she says, she doesn't prefer straight men. So why are we even putting weight on it? It don't make sense to me. She has made it known that I like a man that gets fucked and fucks me. Like, that's new to me. I'm not that man. So when you start talking about the kind of man you want, and if he's straight up, I'm like, well, I was a red flag anyway, because I'm not that. That's what I would say.
I would say this, and I'm gonna preface it this way, because the producers of this show will put me out there like that. Doechii, if you look at her story and how she made it, is phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal, right? In terms of like, hey, even pulled her label back and was like, I need people to understand who I am before y'all just throw me out there. Mm-hmm. Awesome. But that is the dumbest shit you have ever said.
Well, for her, she's a bisexual queer woman.
You know why? Because here's the thing. It's like a man saying, well, a woman, straight woman is just the biggest red flag. It's almost like you speaking on all. No. But let me tell you why. But you know what we don't do? Here's what I'm very conscious of in this era. Saying, I've inserted the word many, not all, or the phrase. This woman said a straight man is a red flag. I ain't a red flag, Doechii. Like,
if it don't
for
apply,
her.
If it don't apply, let it fly. Like, why is
Here's
that?
my point,
Why is
because
everyone so triggered? If they're not the straight
I'm not
heterosexual
triggered,
men, exactly, man that they talking about, like it's just straight men. What the fuck? It's like it. She joking. It's like she's
joking. She's dead serious.
not. She's serious, but it's obviously being herself, being playful. There's seriousness in all jokes, but. They took it so see. I think it's like, why is this even in the
if we're
discussion?
taking
Why did it go viral? Why are we so
cool.
mad? Why are we so mad about it? Even if we aren't taking it lighthearted, even if she was dead ass the fuck serious, why does that trigger anyone?
I don't even think it's
if you're not the straight man, that's the problem. Then
but let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I
said.
love this show and why I love like this culture right now, even though it irks the shit out of me. You can't. This is the culture where, like, going back to LeBron for a second. You can't say anything about anybody anymore. You are instantly labeled a hater. Like, if I don't like it, I'm a hater. For whatever reason, I don't like it. But in the era of the Kobe Bryants and the Michael Jordans, it would be like, nigga, F you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, nigga, F you. All right, nigga, I see you on the court then. Yep. Well, that's where we'll take it out.
So why aren't you taking it that same approach with, it's like, okay, if it's...
I am. It's just dumb as shit. Don't say it no more. Like, Dochi, or let's talk about it. Come on, that's debatable.
I think what it is, though, is that, I mean, it's not so much of her saying it, but that was what was isolated and put out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, but...
Y'all are not convincing me. I don't see the big problem.
Here's the point.
Y'all are not.
Here's the point.
This is not a big deal.
I'm gonna tell you the issue that I have with it.
It's not.
I'm gonna tell you the issue that I have with it. And this is the issue coming up as kids, and I'm older obviously than y'all, but coming up as kids, censorship was a thing. It's like we didn't believe in it. That's like, oh, free speech, you can't do that. I have switched my position. I think a lot of things should be censored because, again, LeBron James is the voice of the league. Doechii is a voice for young females right now. Okay. Like, literally has a bunch of notoriety. If I had a daughter, would I want her seeing that straight men are a red flag and be like, Mommy, why are straight men a red flag?
But a lot of straight men are red flags. They are.
So what you just said, not all.
I didn't say all.
She did.
But yeah.
But I think the problem is she said they're straight because they're not colorful like her. They don't have the rainbow in them. And to me, that's the weird part. It's like,
we'll get you a bag of Skittles I don't
want you to see me.
This is so not a big deal. Y'all
No. I'm saying I can see if you having a problem with it. Because that's like saying like what's a red flag? And I did an interview and I said black women. Like, black women will eat that shit alive.
Viral in our heart.
Nigga, what's wrong with us? Yes. We raise your kids. It's like, it's the same concept.
That's not the same thing, though.
It's exactly the same thing if you're a straight man.
Okay. Hold on, what's the difference? I want to hear the difference.
Like, you just told
Brian, let her tell the difference. She said it's not. Let her explain it.
It's definitely not the same thing. I love when y'all
what's the difference?
Obtuse on purpose.
But what is the difference?
Because we're talking, now you're saying a race. Now, if a man said all red flags are straight women, period, then that's the same thing. But you're adding race to it. That's a whole nother thing. And as a black man adding race to it, that's a completely different thing. So you've changed the whole conversation.
Let me ask you a question now.
So
I want
it
you
is
to be
different.
honest. I want you
Let's
to be
not
honest.
be dense, please.
I'm not talking about Stanza now. Stanza as a team. Was there a celebrity or somebody you're just like, I'm influenced, like I love everything they represent, they stand for? Like they could say it and maybe it held a little bit more weight than anybody else.
have idols. I didn't look at celebrities as idols.
I'll put it to you like this:
When I
when
was
it comes to like work ethic in this era, people hang on celebrities. Like I know people that hang on Kodak Black's word, and they're like, Kodak Black didn't do it. I'm like, Kodak Black shouldn't do anything. That's
Well,
number
then
one.
those people are questionable.
There you go. But the point is, the little girl who just loves the Doechii record and is like, I love your style, I love your
Be
energy.
cautious of straight men.
Gotta stay away from stickers.
I don't want little girls
I don't know.
hearing that.
I don't know. You don't want little girls here
Be
because.
cautious of straight men?
Okay.
Why?
I mean, as a woman, I have a lot of reasons to be cautious of
So
straight
you
men.
want bisexual man?
It's not about saying bisexual.
Let's
men,
go to
but
the next one. What we talking about
that's
next?
crazy. Y'all blew that out
Ryan
of
is
proportion.
From Dochi.
He is triggered by Dochi. Angel Reese is back in headlines. She's wanting more money from the WNBA and threatens that she will not play if she's not paid more. Do you really think that they have the power to go into a lockout like the NBA?
I mean, they could do what they want to do, but I just watch baseball. I don't give no fucks about that. So, Yankees, Mets.
I saw the Angel Reese clip, and it really bothered me. I wish that I knew her, because the one thing she said is, she said, I deserve it. First of all, you don't determine what you deserve. The world does. Like, trust me, there's some niggas that feel like they should be in LeBron's shoes, and they not. It's not what you deserve. It's not what you think you deserve. It's what the world says. And the other thing is that I think she's overestimating her importance. The WNBA just became popular partially because of her, partially because of Caitlin Clark. But the reality is that it will be just fine without you if you don't play.
Fact.
So when you start talking like that, like to me, what she did, Stanza, she separated herself from the other class. Like, I deserve, I'm not playing. And at that moment, they're gonna be like, okay, that's why it's not an I game, it's a team game. And I think that that's what she's gonna wanna be humbled in that way.
I mean, she thinks she's bigger than the system, and she ain't really did nothing. Like,
I'm not here to knock nobody.
Well, hold on. She did.
I'm not here to knock nobody.
Hold on, Jack.
Absolute
Jack,
statements
I'ma say
and
this.
have nothing to
Let me say
predicate
this.
behind it.
Did she win the
So
championship?
Yes.
championship
Yes.
is the only thing that solidifies.
No.
There's people that are in the Hall of Fame that have not won a ring.
Viewership,
Please
hold
be
on.
for real.
Season?
No.
Please
Let me
be
say
for
this.
real.
Viewership is up.
Please be for real,
Viewership
Jay.
is up because of her and Caitlin.
Can I tell y'all something?
Absolutely.
but she's not bigger than the machine.
Wait. That's not what I'm
She
saying.
helped build more money and created avenues
But-
for the machine to make more money.
I
She
am-
did.
let me
And
say-
that is
whoa,
a
let
fact.
me
That
say
is a
this.
fact. That is
I
a
am
indie
1,000%
fact.
on both of y'all's side and against both of you at the same time, and I'm gonna tell you why. Angel Reese.
I'm just saying,
No, you're
speaking
right.
against
But
what
the
he's- 'cause that's
viewership,
cap.
Jack, that's not even in question. Her and
Let
Caitlin
me ask you a
Clark.
question. Let me ask you a question though. Do y'all know that the NBA, WNBA, Alex, look this up too. They just announced they lost like $40 million.
They lose
this
money every
season.
year.
So
Every year.
how do you deserve money if we're losing?
But that's the point. So here's my
No.
thing,
I
right?
really want to ask her, like, how do you deserve anything when the league that you're in is not even making money?
If she was in the NBA, she'd have a
Totally
bigger
different.
point. But I'll say this, right?
40 million? So they just confirmed it. The WNBA
40
set to
million?
lose 40 million this season.
So, but they've been losing money every year, which is why they're trying to justify the viewership. But here's the thing, and I'm working on something right now where the investor in it was like, "Why do you want this person? Why do you want that person?" I said, because the voices behind that cause are sometimes more important than the cause itself in order to move it. And what I'm saying by that is, if you had you, Caitlin Clark, Taurasi, and it was like 4 or 5 others, then you might have a voice. You saying, "Well, I'm gonna just sit out," then you will be sitting. Because it doesn't make money. It's not a profitable mechanism.
That's my point. Like, it's hard for you. If Steph Curry said it, if anybody else said it, because the league was making billions. And this is, to me, why I would love to hear a woman's standpoint, because to me, this is the problem with female sports, right? Because women bring women attitudes in it, but sports is not about attitude. Sports is about competing, winning, and losing. And you came in on some arrogant shit, but your sport is 40 million in the hole, baby girl. You need to humble yourself and be trying to figure out how to get the sport out the hole and then demand more money. But let's be clear. Let's also be clear. There are people in college making just as much money as people in the NBA. You could not go to the WNBA, mama. You could have stayed in college, or you could have, for another couple years, you could have also went like Flau'jae is doing. She's just staying in college. She's making like $7-8 million a year in college. So Nil is there. So for me, it's like, if you like, you made a decision to go to a losing league, and now you got to deal with it. And I understand if you feel like you deserve it, but you sound like those dudes from the 60s and 70s that play in the NBA. The plumbers that they talk about that was like playing the NBA and that everybody say, but guess what? That's what you are. The NBA ain't making millions yet. You got to get, before you can start saying, just because you're popular doesn't mean your sport is popular. The brand is known, but the asset is not generating the money that they're spending into it, including you. So you should humble yourself before, like people like the world likes to humble people like that. So it scares me to talk like that.
And we got to remember too that like every woman in the WNBA is not her. She has all these endorsements and other things going on. So if they do a lockout, how many of them you think is going to stand next to her and say that we're going to do that?
They're not going to do a lockout.
They're not going to do that.
That's my
that
point.
won't happen.
How are you locking out when there's no money? Thank you. You closed our doors. Now we can stop losing. That's what you really did. Like, this is an investment. Like, dog, get the league to a certain... By the way, this is the first time they actually are, like, super popular. Like, get it to a blossom a little bit more before you start going in the room saying, I deserve more money or I'm not playing. The world will be good just without you.
Yeah, and I think just for the loss standpoint, much of the money that they are losing is coming from marketing promotion dollars. So they're promoting the league. I think it's going to take time for it to build up to where an NBA is, but a lot of that is because they're finally the viewership and everything that the WNBA is now. They had to spend money to get there. I'm not saying it's.
I don't think it's ever gonna get there.
I don't think so either. I think it's fine. I think it will never be a bigger league than the NBA. But I think that it'll continue to grow as long as they continue to put more money in sports. And I think that was the initial cause of everything, was to start putting more money into women's sports.
I don't think it's women's sports. I think the WNBA problem is that they don't dunk.
Yeah, I was about to tell you.
I'm not even being funny. It's nothing exciting. Dog.
Yeah, it's very fundamental.
Women's soccer is not as big as men's soccer.
Oh, but it makes
it's
a
big.
crap ton of money.
It's making millions and millions of dollars. So what I'm saying, I don't think it's female sports. I think it's the sport they're playing. Like, the NBA was built on dunks, and I just don't think because they don't dunk, it becomes harder to watch.
Well, U.S. women's soccer for sure had about where they were protesting against getting paid higher, which is why their pay rate is much higher. It's the same thing in every sport where you have women's sports and men's sports. Viewership is always going to be higher in a man's sport. That's just how the country is ran. That's where they are.
But not that much higher. Let me tell you something. One player in the NBA makes more money than the entire WNBA put together. It's when we speak about inconsistencies or unbalances, sometimes we might say, well, this is a 70 and that's a 30. No. In the case of the NBA, they'll have an $85 billion deal and the WNBA lost $40 million this year. I know just because you have the excitement, you need to learn the business first. By the way, we don't talk enough about business. We need to start talking, because my problem is you're speaking from a business that you don't even understand. So why are you speaking?
But I'm going to say this too. You got to understand that the NBA was built on rivalries, and it was built on Hollywood, and it was built on Showtime Lakers and just pizzazz. Look at the NBA. Viewership is
always in a winning position.
No, but it's in a losing position now.
I'm saying, but it wasn't always in a winning position. It wasn't in a position like players back then are not, of course, not being paid the same as players now. But it took building it. So what I'm saying is that the WNBA, yes, is taking a loss, but this is the first time that in my lifetime, I've seen money being put into it and actually marketing the shows,
right.
televising the games, and all of these things, and putting on things to push these women forward. So it's almost like it's going to take money to make money at this point, is what I'm saying.
What has changed about the game, to Ray's point? And let me tell you what I mean. The first time that
you're moving the goalposts, because now you're talking about something different.
Let me explain, because this is what Ray was just saying. When Michael Jordan is like, all right, I'm killing the Pistons, and the Pistons like, all right, ground Jordan rules. So the whole season is like, knock him on his ass. People out there punching each other out. You got Magic that's in LA, Showtime, it's a lot of pizzazz. Where's the pizzazz in the WNBA? Because you could say Angel Reese is coming, Caitlin Clark is coming, but when they get on the court because of the new rules, I can't even taunt you.
But for enough, I think we have to find a new avenue of, pizzazz, like I said, we're moving the goalposts because that's not what we were originally talking about. However, if you want to talk about the pizzazz, cool. I think Caitlyn and Angel definitely brought the viewership
Energy.
there and the energy there. Now I think that the WNBA didn't capitalize off of it as much as they could.
They can't.
I'm saying about the energy surrounding them.
Right.
There could have been more push behind that. They didn't, and now they have to find a new way of making their money.
Guess what, Angel Reese? You are a rapper in the fucking 80s. Shut the fuck up. It has not developed. I'm just being honest. You're a rapper in the 80s. LL Cool J was selling millions of records, but they wasn't making millions of dollars.
I don't think
you
they-
came and
I don't
like.
think
By the
they
way,
did
and let's be
2020.
clear. She's still better off than Cheryl Swoops and Rebecca Lobo and
Absolutely.
Cheryl Miller
Yes, yeah.
and
Absolutely.
Cheryl Miller. So it's like you're disrespecting the people who came before you by making it seem like what you're making today, which is way more than them, ain't enough because you deserve more. I think it's gonna backfire.
I don't think the WNBA is going to be here in the next 10 years. That's just me.
Well,
you
listen.
can't keep losing money. You can't. Nobody's going to keep pouring money down.
By the way, you know the one answer? The NBA player should just give 1% of their income. If NBA player gave 1% of their income, it'd be their pot to the WNBA. Those girls are gonna make like a 10x. Just from 1%. That's how big the NBA is to the WNBA. Humble yourself. You are the star of it. You have a McDonald's meal. You are the face of it. You are lucky. Your story is not the story of everybody else in the WNBA. You are disrespecting and being disrespectful to everybody who came before you because you're a bad bitch and that's how you want to talk. And as long as you can talk like that, everybody better shut the fuck up. And when y'all do it, and it's like, bro,
When other athletes, when men athletes, when football players do the same thing, when they say they're not going to play because they want their money and they sit out, is it the same thing? Do y'all feel the same way?
Can I tell you, hold on, watch it, hold on.
Do y'all feel the
Brian,
same
watch
way?
this. Let me tell you a story. In like 2002, you're going to remember this story because you're an NBA fan. A player named Latrell Sprewell. This nigga Stanza got offered, every man nodding their head, he got offered a 3-year, $21 million deal. And he did not sign it. What was his quote why he didn't sign it? You remember?
I don't remember his
He
quote.
said, how am I supposed to feed my fucking family? Was $21 million. Guess what, nigga? Now you got to figure out how to feed him with nothing. What I'm telling you is, God giveth and God taketh. If you don't appreciate it, you will fucking be, people will want to see you lose it because there are people who are praying to be you that will not act like that. You have to lead with some level of humility in this shit when you're winning. Now, by the way, if she was trying to get drafted and she said, I'm a dog, talk your shit all day, get in the league. You're in there now. And by the way, you're still not the most popular. You didn't win the championship. You're not the most popular girl. You're not even the most popular rookie.
And to his point in what you just said, stands in pre-production, we were talking about TV shows. Y'all are like, oh, Paradise is amazing. Okay, well, if I'm on Paradise and everybody's talking about it, I can kind of go in and be like, you know what? I kind of make this fucking show. So I ain't coming back next year. But if you're on fucking Hulu on the show that nobody watches, like, I got to get paid. No, nigga, I'm not paying you. What you gonna do about it?
Not only that, nigga, you are making us money, but your teammates aren't, which is who you ostracise, your teammates, when you talk like that. Because what about us? Next.
league needs
what we got
some help,
next?
though.
What we going next?
Andrew Schulz appeared on The Breakfast Club, and DJ Envy asked him if he was still attracted to Kendrick Lamar and when.
He said, do you still want to have sex with him? Like, that was the dumbest question.
Do you still want to have sex with Kendrick Lamar? And he also asked him if he thought he was attractive. And Andrew Schulz doubled down on his comments. The question that's being posed is, are people too sensitive about comedy now versus back then?
I don't know why the fuck Envy would even go there with him.
Yeah, my problem is with
Hold
Envy
on.
even asking.
Hold the fuck on.
That wasn't Queens.
Where is Envy from?
That wasn't Queens. That's not Queens. That's not Queens.
That was a Queens nigga talking like that.
Queens
Queens nigga
niggas
said,
asking
you still
a
want
white
to
man.
take him on the bed and fuck him? Like, it's like,
That's
what?
it.
Asking a
not-
white man, do you still want to fuck Kendrick?
Yeah,
Fuck
that
another
wasn't-
black
that wasn't
man?
Queensy.
I think that there's a huge problem with sensitivity, but I think it started with the LBGTQ and like Dave Chappelle said, when you add the pluses, that's when it became like a little problematic because now you can play with gay people, you can't play with transgender people. So I think that that's when that trigger happened. Go ahead.
No, to answer the question, yes. I mean, one of the most popular Eddie Murphy lines ever was he told a joke and he said, fuck them. You can't say that today.
You
at
just
all.
said it.
No, I can say it because I don't give a shit.
I love Brian.
And here's the thing about this, right? I come from an era where if you know it's a joke and I have a microphone in my hand and I'm on a stage with lights on me and you take anything I say seriously, that's your problem. You came to a comedy show. I'm up here telling jokes. It's almost like, when you text a girl and she's like, what you mean by that? I don't mean shit because I put LOL behind it. That means it's a damn joke. It's a joke. So yes, we're way too sensitive because
we are too sensitive.
But we've also made it fashionable to allow people to be sensitive to it. And that was the problem.
I'm glad he got fucked up on Monday Night Raw last night.
Andrew, okay, right?
Yeah,
okay,
he
Jack.
needed that.
Good, Jack.
So y'all are okay with? I just think
okay,
it's
okay,
just
okay,
a little
okay,
weird for
okay.
me. I don't know if as a
Okay.
black woman, y'all are black men, but I just say it's
Okay,
just.
so my thing is this.
We've made it okay to just disrespect black men, and we're aiding and abetting at this point.
So
You're asking the question.
So
If I sit down and I ask you, do you want to still have sex with a fellow black man on a public platform? It's just, why would you even ask that
He's
question?
a comedian, but here's the thing.
DJ Envy is a comedian.
No,
okay, so here's
Andrew
what I'll
Schulz
say.
is the comedian.
When Dave Chappelle did his More Than He Saved skit, I thought it was funny. When he did his transgender skit, I thought it was funny. I think Dave Chappelle's the best comedian of all time, so I think it's funny. People in his community didn't laugh at it, and it became so serious that now when Dave Chappelle did SNL, they told him, you can't talk about Jews and Hamas, you can't talk about that, and you can't talk about transgender people. So my point is that until we get, because I'm not mad at Stanza's take, but I'm just saying that needs to be the entire take. Mm-hmm. But when someone that looks like us tell jokes about someone else, that needs to remain the take.
See, that's my problem.
Because that's when you're like,
We've been
oh,
the
well,
butt of the joke.
No. See, that's not fair to you to say
have.
that. But that's not fair for you to use that as a reason to say now y'all are. Because now that means we're basically showing the same biases we don't want them to show us for doing. So I'm telling you is that in my opinion, to me, I think we need to bring back comedy. We need to stop being so offended. We need to, dog, we be saying you can't say words like retarded anymore. Like, excuse you to offend somebody. Like, well, you know what I want to say? What, nigga? So I saw footage of yesterday. We live in Atlanta, of course. I watch the news every day. I saw footage of an inmate that stabbed a guard in the neck with a shank, right? And the entire time, they was like, we know he has mental health issues. And we know he has mental health and mental... Man, that nigga crazy, bro. Why can't we just say that no more? That nigga, because that's how we used to say, he's crazy, stay away from him. Now it's, he has mental health.
Right.
Give him a hug
Medication.
and tell him this.
I'll say this,
what?
right? I'm not homophobic, right? And growing up, every other comic on every comedy show told a gay joke. As a gay man, you just up there pretending to be gay, and it was funny. But I don't think it was funny to a lot of people in the gay community, but it was comedy, right? You tell a joke about people being overweight. You tell a joke about people being black, about being white. It's comedy. If we know what it is.
Now, you're age shaming now. You're
you've
race
had
shaming
this-
now. It's just everybody is just, and by the way, that is,
So everybody's is just.
to me, we live in a bitch ass culture. And we're raising kids to be bitches because we want them to be sensitive and cry and everything else. Look at this. We got a billionaire NBA player who jumps in the face of $100 million man over a kid that didn't deserve to be here that both of them knew, but you can't say nothing. Because if you say something that's my child and our kid, it's like, bro, we live in a world. Dog, I said this to them when I was doing the radar report. I would do a show called 3Gs with my son. Little Raymond says something about the Lakers losing to the Bulls. And some dude commented on Instagram was like, yo, tell little man, get his facts right before he come talking. So I'm like, yo, that little man is my motherfucking 15-year-old son. Like, chill the fuck out. And he goes, I don't give a fuck. He shouldn't be on camera if he... And I'm like, you know what? He's right. And you know what my job should be to do? Is prepare little Raymond for when shit that come his way. And you know what would have been more groundbreaking? What would have been more groundbreaking?
If
Bronny would have stepped
walked
to
up
Steph
to
and
Stephen
said,
A.
why you do that to me? Stop doing that. It would have been respect.
That shit would have been iconic.
It would have been iconic because at least we know he has something. LeBron, he's only there because of you. And guess what that means? He only matters when you matter. And when you stop mattering, when they don't care about your product no more, I guarantee you he's going to complain about how the NBA treats him and his son. I can't believe they doing my son like that. Bro, you did it to him. You put him in a space. When you was 14, you was killing to get. And you gave it to him because you felt like he deserved it because he's your son. Bro, we fucked up, bro. We gotta stop being so serious in society. You can make a joke about me. People say all type shit about me. I think it's funny because it's like, I know who I am. You can't hurt me about me. I know who I am. I know how much money I got in the bank. I know my dick size. I know everything I bring to the table. You can't, I'm saying, Jack, that's something that I know. And that's who I am. I know who I am. You can't
playing
break
devil's
me.
advocate, though?
No, y'all open the gates up for everything. Y'all say we can't, you just said,
No,
we
I'ma
can't
say
speak
this.
about Jews and we can't say this
Who
and
said we
that.
can't speak about Jews?
No, he
You
was saying that sarcastically.
I'm saying no because you've said this on a show
she going at you,
previously.
I'm not me.
You've said this on
Get
a show
'em.
before, and you tried to compare gay jokes to being black jokes, and that's not the same thing. And so when we say, because in this society, if we want to be real, if you speak about, we see what they're doing to Kanye. They're trying to cut his balls off because he
I've
speaks about the
always
Jews the way
said
he does.
this.
So I'm saying,
You're going to hate what I'm about to say.
I don't listen.
Let's hear it.
I'm gonna finish my thought,
Go
and
ahead,
then
I'm
you
sorry.
could go. Those are two different things. However, if y'all are saying keep it on the same playing field, that's not the case in this world that we live in because you cannot make Jew jokes without getting crucified.
Here's my
So that's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is where we've
To you.
about
No,
by
no,
the
no,
Jews.
No, listen,
No,
to
I like,
you.
I like where she's going. By the way, Stanza, you were 100% right. I'm on your side. The only thing is that if we laugh at a black joke, we can't get mad if someone else does. And if we laugh at a racist joke, that's not a black joke. We can't get mad if someone laughs at a black joke. So you're not wrong, but we have to create the vigor and the anger for the people to see that. I'm gonna tell you something, random as fuck. I had a white friend. I'm not gonna say his name because he's a friend of mine. He called me during the George Floyd thing. Man, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. This shit really made me feel like shit and good at the same time. It's like I was confused. He basically calls me and goes, how you doing, bro? I'm like, I'm good. Like, checking in. Yeah, I'm just checking in, man. You know, a lot of crazy shit happening. And I literally respond, Stanza like Ray, like, well, I'm like, you know, like, man, we've been seeing people get beat up by the police that like us since I was fucking a little boy. Ain't nothing new. And he goes, it is new, because we out there now. And I remember thinking like, as fucked up as it sounds, he was right. When white people care, the world will care. Or America cares. But black people have to get to this place where we care and we don't give a fuck who don't. And
That's all I'm saying.
And
So
if
that's
we
what I'm
stand
saying.
like that,
Like,
I'm like, I'm with you. We gonna stand like
talking
that.
about-
I'm with you.
This is why I'm not calling you wrong. I'm saying it's objective and subjective. You know why it matters?
Everything in life is subjective.
But this is why it matters. You are a black, intelligent female. So to you, you know what we've been through, and it matters to you.
More than it does.
Now, if a producer on this show was white and gay, and every time somebody told a white or a gay joke he felt offended, he said, well, Stanza, I feel the same way. So people should stop telling white gay jokes. Then you know what's going to happen? Comedy will cease to exist.
Not only does comedy cease to exist, there's nothing good on TV anymore.
Yeah, or musically.
There's nothing good musically
Nothing to
anymore.
consume.
Because no one is allowing people to just be honest.
What I'm saying is that I think what y'all saying is, it is rules and guidelines for everyone else. It is, because if you make, people are getting crucified for having gay jokes and trans jokes.
Let
and
them.
But you know what? The LGBT community, QIA plus community, hops on their ass about it, and they start to, so I get it. I do think that we live in a sensitive society. I'm just saying,
Do you know what
I
they
just
said?
didn't appreciate seeing that, and the question was stupid. I mean, I don't. It just.
You
it
know what they
wasn't-
said is
shouldn't
the
have been
most
there.
offensive, the two most offensive clips ever on SNL, ever in life?
What is it?
One was Chevy Chase and Richard Pryor. And they literally have a word association where it goes back and forth, and then it gets heated. And then he's like, spear chucker. And old boy is like, old Faye. And he's like, nigga. And he's like, dead honky.
Yes.
That would never happen in today's day.
Yes.
And then the second
That
one
was
is
a great
when,
skit.
that was an amazing skit. Eddie Murphy, he plays a white man, and he gets in whiteface, and he goes around the city. And he's in there.
Incredible.
Right, and he's in the chair, and he's like, black people, da-da-da-da, and Eddie Murphy's like, ha-ha, silly Negro.
No, he wanted to buy he wanted a loan. He
Right.
had no income, no nothing, no credit, no nothing. And the black guy he was talking to was like, you want a loan? You have no credit? No. Dude, how we gonna do it? And the white man comes like, hey, let me deal with this bum.
Right.
And he sends him away and he goes,
Silly
what does
Negro.
he know?
Right.
Here's everything you
And
want.
white people were offended. They were like, no, we don't act like that. Yes, some
didn't know
of
that.
you do. But that's the point. It is just it's like art imitates life. So again, it don't mean that it applies to everybody. Every time a person tells a
I'm
black
on my
joke,
pro-black shit all
See what I mean?
2025,
That's
2026
what
for the
it
rest
is.
of my life. And I don't care. And I'm able to
And
do
my-
that because with the world, the way it looks outside, It's going up in bombs as we speak, and everybody is taking in their own. White people are with white people, Mexicans are with Mexicans, and I'm just saying, I'm with everybody. I'm rooting for everybody black. And if a black man is getting disrespected with buck-breaking jokes, I got a problem with it as a black woman. Now, if you 3 black men or 2 black men don't got a problem with it, and y'all don't see the offensive side to it, that's your business. But as a black woman, I don't want it, because we always talk about this. All of y'all have said something about trying to tear down the community by putting men in dresses and this, that, and the third, and trying to take down the black community.
But I want to say something.
So,
by the way, you're right.
All I'm saying is, everybody, I'm rooting for everybody black.
But the reason why I can laugh at it is because you can't whoop me.
You right.
So for me, it's like.
And I don't think it's problematic for me to say that,
hearing you be loud about butt breaking a black man, knowing that that's what happened during slavery, changes the tone of it, right? But at the same time, you can't whoop me.
You right.
Come fucking try it. Envy, give him a plane ticket, send him to my house, record it. Nigga, that's what I'm saying. That's why I can't get offended by it, because you know Andrew Schulz won't play with nobody in Kendrick's face if they was right there. You wouldn't say that in front of fucking the niggas that's with Kendrick, because they will break your ass. So monkey, it's a famous Virgin Islands saying. Shout out to Teron Thomas for this. Monkeys know what tree to climb.
You're right.
These niggas know who to play with and who not to play with.
And when to.
Let's be clear. Have you ever heard him say I'm a butt break Cameron or 50 Cent a loud nigga? A nigga who can't wait to get in the dirt with you.
Yeah.
Right.
He won't, because they gonna play back with you. Kendrick has not even done an interview.
Right.
And he's had the hottest year of his life. You think he's gonna acknowledge what you said about butt? Come on.
Yeah.
That's why you said it.
Right.
You was trying to get it. But you're right.
I'm not speaking from an offensive standpoint of being offended. It's just like everybody else rallying around theirs. Why not fucking rally around ours? That's all I'm saying.
I'm with you
And
on
I'm
that.
with the niggas. Okay.
Let's go.
This is for the niggas.
This for the YNs. Let's go.
You know what I think it is? Like, nobody is like...
Nobody. Can I say something? Nobody in the history has ever said, I wonder what Jack Danz thinks.
Yes, I do.
Go, Jack.
That's not true. That's not true.
Nah, nigga, that's a Chappelle joke. Talking about Ja Rule. Then he said nobody cares about what Ja Rule thinking. Like, who cares about what Ja Rule
Get
thinking?
him, Jack. What you got?
Go ahead.
I mean, it's like growing up in public school. Like, we all played the dozens.
I never played that. I grew up in
You
public
never
school.
played that?
No.
Like joking mama
if
jokes
you
and...
playing the dozens and the nigga said he was gonna fuck you, what you gonna do?
See, that never came
All
up
right,
in the dozens.
that's what I'm
You know
saying.
what?
That's
Put me.
that's
But you know
saying.
what,
though,
Saying,
watch this, watch
if
this.
they say that, though, it's a problem.
Stanza, I was right there, front row, at the Bone Thugs and Harmony and 3-6 Mafia versus. It was a lot of tension in the air. But as soon as Juicy J yelled, "Suck my dick," oh nigga, that's what you say to women. That's when a mic got thrown and they started fighting. Hey, bro, don't talk like so. But my thing is this: there are emotional triggers for us that we have to get over, because as long as you can pull a trigger, you can control me. And I just want you to come try it.
But you know,
Because once you touch me, now it's different. And now I could beat the shit out of you.
we live in the
'cause you touched
world
me
of
first.
sensationalism. So it's like Envy doesn't. He knew what he was doing when he said
Right.
it.
By the way,
I know everything. I know the game, guys. We
Right.
we all play this game
Envy-
together.
Envy-
I'm just saying, like for the sake of it all.
Envy was a sucker for that. That was some sucker shit to ask. And he knows what he's doing. That's those light skin shit Envy has done in 2025.
Yeah, that's not Queens.
DJ
Shots fired.
Envy.
That's the
No, I
light
fuck with
skin.
Envy. He a Virgo. He a Virgo like me. But nigga, that was one of those, like, if that was my nigga, I would have been like, nigga, what
Right.
the fuck? Why'd you ask that?
Type of question is that? But anyways,
Let's go to the next subject.
All right. Tory Lanez has released the first album he recorded entirely from his prison cell. The Canadian artist has shared his new LP, Peterson, via Umbrella Records, which has 21 songs, I believe. 20 or 21 songs.
All these
It
Canada
went
artists.
#1, I think, for a day on Apple Music. And they're asking, does it prove he wasn't canceled with the album going #1? Or does it just prove that people are just trying to see what he's trying to say?
Let me tell you something that somebody told me one day. I didn't say this. This is somebody who's very powerful told me one day. I was trying to do a pub deal for a certain artist. And I said, man, we should do it. He's #1 on Apple. You know what he said? He said, that shit might as well be #1 nowhere. Nigga, number one on Apple is not as big as Apple is in our phones. And
Yeah.
It's not the
it's
metric.
not the metrics for
at all.
streaming.
Nothing.
It means nothing.
Spotify is. So when you see people going number one on Apple, it's because that's what we know hip hop lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like put like this on Apple Music. There's Larry Jackson had a famous quote where he was like saying that you add the artists from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s up. Drake still streams more than all of them put together. That's because people that want to hear those songs are dead. I mean, not being funny or not like.
And I will say this, y'all gotta understand, man. I tell the artists that I represent, stop falling for these damn parlor tricks. If Jack Danz and Bree Miller drop 2 separate albums, but then fucking Drake drops the same day, he's number one. I'm looking at the chart and I'm like, who's dropping? Okay, nobody's dropping. I'd definitely be number one. I drop it, I'm number one. It's a headline, but that don't mean shit.
Did anyone listen to the album? Anyone up here?
I love Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez to me is one of my favorite artists. To me, he's what I think. I would say this. To me, he's the biggest star out of Canada. He's the biggest star. Can I prove it to you? Okay. When quarantine happened, because quarantine is when we saw who was stars or not.
Yeah.
You can't have a control of a room and you got to just be you on the camera and light the world up. No one did it bigger than Tory Lanez.
He was on fire.
Nigga, let's be clear.
Yeah.
What hurt him was some pussy he was in.
Yeah.
That's what hurt him, to being honest. So it's like, so let's be clear. So he's really the biggest, to me, star out of Toronto. He has all the potential. Drake didn't fuck with him in the beginning. He had to get hot. Then Drake started fucking with him. And now he did a nigga in jail stuck talking up for Drake more than anybody.
Plus, I don't think he was canceled. I think he just went to jail. I don't think people were like, oh, he's canceled.
No,
he was canceled.
I think that he was half canceled by the people that wanted him in jail, and the people that didn't want him in jail was the people he was. Because I didn't think that he deserved to be like, dog. Listen to me. If you shoot someone, and someone gets hurt, and has to go to a hospital, you should get some time for that. You shot a bullet in the floor, and it ricocheted. To be honest with you, I don't think if he goes online and says what he says, I don't think Megan goes hard on him the way she did. So partially, he deserved her dissing him the way he did because he was out here acting like shit didn't happen.
Right.
Like, nigga, like I can't put you in jail. And when she showed him she could, she fucking
But
did
the
it.
thing about it is, Megan didn't even press charges, so she didn't put him in jail.
Testified, though.
Yes, because she was a witness to the crime, but she did not press charges. L.A. County came for Tory.
why did LA County come for
remember
her?
when I told you from the beginning, or on the last episode, it's up to the prosecutor.
I know,
If
hit
they
me
feel
out.
like they have enough evidence to go after
But you know
and
she
charge
went
you.
after him
But
hard
when did the
media-wise.
prosecutor go after him? When Megan went online and said, "You talking crazy? You want me to tell the truth? You shot me." And
No,
then that's when everybody was like, "Get him."
They were already investigating that because he wasn't supposed to be with a weapon.
But you
anyway.
know she was the smoking gun. She was the one. That's like if I go to jail today
Well, yeah,
and you out there, you calling me like, yeah, nigga, how you feel about them black jokes before I go in here and testify?
Yeah, you're
And
thinking,
nigga, I hate them.
Yeah, if you want the number one witness there, she was there to the crime and she was also the injured victim. If you shoot someone and they're still alive, then yes, that's gonna be you're gonna be put on the stand to make the case. Absolutely.
I thought they were saying the friend shot him.
No one knows. No, we don't.
All I'm saying is this. Free, by the way, I hope Tory gets out. If he did his time, he did his time for the crime. She's still out here dancing, twerking on stage. There ain't nothing wrong. So I feel like he should be able to go on stage and feed his family. That's just how I feel. And, for me, it's like,
He'll see the
Tory
light
stuck
in
up for
10
Drake.
years.
I'm glad he released an album. I'm glad he ain't letting one monkey shot his show. I'm glad he ain't letting one monkey stop his show. That monkey be in jail. He's like, I'm gonna make an album in jail, and to me, I like it. Like I respect the artistic creative. By the way, since we talk about people in jail, y'all want to talk about the best the residual remix that came out from the nigga in jail. By the way, this is a nigga that everybody thinks should be in jail.
I haven't heard it yet. I want to hear it. I ain't gonna lie.
Nah, shit is alright.
But he basically talked. R. Kelly does
Yeah.
and he talks about his residuals. He basically asked the question, where my residuals going? Because they ain't coming to me. From phone
Call
in
your
jail.
lawyer, man. Hit your
Yeah.
lawyer.
Somebody must have got that power of attorney and,
Hit your lawyer.
rerouted that.
Or it might have been bills.
That man is got bills due on top of bills due on top of bills due. Aaliyah's family owns his first 3 masters from his first 3 albums.
But can I say this
something
though?
like that.
He does have bills. You're 100% right. He has bills on top of bills, but we all do. And no one takes our check from us
We
and
don't
then
all
pays
have
our
settlements.
bills. So that's what I'm saying. So I think he needs to figure out where it's going.
He know where the
and
money
how
going.
that,
To the victims.
nigga, he might not be getting no royalty checks. Might be just getting publisher. It's fucked up. It's fucked up to be R. Kelly.
Yes, it's
Going
crazy.
to the victims.
I
But
feel
I
bad
heard he
for
had
him.
like one of the worst contracts ever. Like
Yeah, in the beginning. Yeah,
Like it
I
was
feel
like a lifetime contract, no pub, something like that.
Jack, stop. Let me explain something to you. You cannot have a bad contract if you drop more than 3 albums successfully. I have a lawyer saying, R. Kelly been around for 20-something years. How many fucking times you think they renegotiated?
He got money, Jack.
Nigga, let me tell you how I know R. Kelly had a good deal. R. Kelly had one A&R his entire career. Wayne Williams. As soon as R. Kelly got in trouble and got sent to jail, what happened to Wayne's job?
He wasn't there no more.
He wasn't there no more.
Buddy.
Nigga, they was paying Wayne probably $500,000 a year just to oversee Kells and make sure Kells was happy. That's how much power and influence he had. So to me, it's like, but we do need to look into where his residuals going, because that'd be fun if they taking it from him.
Settlements. It's going to the victims. You have that many people that you got to pay out.
Money.
Yeah, I think, I think Diddy he has longer money than R. Kelly.
Diddy had to do it all over again. He wouldn't have gave that publishing back.
Exactly what I'm saying. I think with all of these, lawyers cost, and he has a team.
Defense lawyers
He
cost.
has a team of lawyers, so he's paying millions to keep them happy.
He should just rep himself.
Money is gonna. I don't think his money will run out, but
No,
if he
it's
has
about
to
Puff or
settle
R.
out,
Kelly?
Diddy
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, Diddy.
that's.
Puff
I'm
getting
saying.
out.
I'm
Puff
just
getting out.
saying. But
You think Puff is getting out?
I don't
getting
see
out.
him getting out. But I think that he's gonna have a lot of lawyer fees to pay.
I'm gonna tell you something. If Kamala won, I think Puff ends up in jail. But remember, the same DA that's going after Trump is the same DA that was going after Mayor Adams, and the same DA going after Puff. And guess what happened when Puff didn't play politics? And I believe that eventually he's gonna sit for a minute, and I believe that he's gonna get off. I don't believe that. I haven't heard anything about Puff. Let's we ain't talk about. Let's do this real quick. So the R. Kelly trial. Now we all as men said them girls is going after him, but when you saw Surviving R. Kelly, and you hear about him having women stuck in rooms, and you gotta pee and doodle in the bucket, and you can't come out because if you come out, he don't want the other girl. Like, this nigga was different. He deserved to kind of be in jail for that fucked up shit he was doing.
Yeah, like,
Only thing, because that's cruelty to women, but that's not. But they were still there voluntarily. It was the young girls that they got him on, and it was the other shit he was doing to so many other women, and nobody stood for him. To me, I think that Puff is gonna have more people going for him than going against him. I think he has the same shot OJ had.
But you know what? You know what it boils down to for me?
It's like the OJ trial. It's like, because everybody gonna be watching, trying to say like, go ahead.
In this era, he has no value to the people who can get him out. He has no voice anymore. He doesn't influence us one way or the other.
Now that, my friend, is why I say he's on the other side of OJ. That is the reason why I say maybe not. If it's just trial, and he's a rich man, and we don't know Puff, and we don't know Cassie, and we know nothing about that, that man walks out with 6-month probation.
I agree with that.
But because he's Puff, and that's why I'm like, we just gotta wait to see how it play out. But I think he's gonna get off.
But
They got Epstein. They're gonna get.
No.
'cause you look at-
No.
They're gonna get-
By the way, shout out to Puff. They got Epstein, right? What his ass do when he got in the cell? He killed himself.
But Pete,
So
Puff's
they
not-
say.
Puff's in there
So
fighting
they
like.
say.
So they say,
But I'll
but
give
we
you case in
gotta
point.
say what's
So
being
they
said.
say.
and
But
you're
we
a
ha-
lawyer, and we talked
So
about this. I
they
give
say,
you case
but
in
you
point.
know, Epstein knew if he got in that cell and started talking about them public officials, presidents, and
I'm
everybody
not-
else that was in them at that island, they knew it was gonna be trouble. So
I'm
I
not
don't
declaring
know.
anybody's innocence or guilt because again, we
Yeah,
don't know all
'cause
the facts.
you're
No.
innocent until
But
proven
I'm not talking
guilty.
about Puff. Like Puff, I saw the video, so that enough was enough for me. But this is what I'm saying. ASAP, yeah.
Okay.
ASAP, right? Dude's like, you pulled a gun on me. Da da da. Okay, whatever that is. Anybody else gets some time. I don't care if you get whatever. You get some time, right? ASAP has something to offer. Your wife is whom? And again, you don't need that negative press. And again, she and he have something to offer. Puff, if you get out today, you don't influence the black community anymore. You can't throw any parties anymore. Matter of fact, nigga, if you got out and threw a party, it'd be like, nigga, what?
I think he get out. I think he gets out
I
and
think he
disappears.
goes to Bali, exactly. But the point is, I don't think there's a reason for anybody to get him out. Trump's like, get you out for what? What can you give me? What can you offer me?
You don't think he got no influence? Like
Who?
none?
On what?
On anything?
Name me one thing you think Puff can influence today.
Privately, a lot.
Privately, yes,
So
but
we
that's
got- but we-
financially.
Privately meaning.
I don't think he has the power in the buildings
I think
anymore.
no, not the builder, but he got some friends out there who know his secrets. He got some friends that's like, hey nigga, you know they come after me.
But he
Which
went
they
against the
which they happen to
machine,
you.
though, man.
I'm not saying that. And by the way, that's the lesson.
Right.
Let's go to the next subject.
Yeah, because that's the lesson.
So. Too puffy.
Is it?
Oh, Big Brother exists. The machine. It shit.
It definitely does. So Mase plans on releasing new album on first day of Diddy's trial.
That's not godlike, Mase.
Called Now We Even.
I got two
The
answers.
Harlem rapper hasn't released a set since 2004. What are your thoughts?
I think he hasn't released an album since The Devil Was a Boy. That's number one. So my answers are who cares and who cares? Like straight up, like real shit. Hold on. Nobody, even the queensiest people, are like, I can't wait for that new Mase.
Well, he's from
like,
Harlem. He's from Harlem.
I don't. He's from New York.
That's kind of why I said what I just said about him. Like, to me, like, that's not godly. Like, here's what I would say. I don't know if Mase is happy. Because there are certain things that happy people don't do. And by the way, him and Cam killing it. It is what it is. They're killing it. But he can't be fulfilled in it because that fulfillment plus watching the person that did you dirty kind of fall, that should be enough for you. But you want to throw it in and drop an album that nobody wants to hear on the day of his stuff, just so people might want to hear if you say something about him. Right. So to me, you're just as a big a predator as you consider him for taking advantage of him being down. That's not godlike. And I'm only saying that because I know Mase is a pastor. So I'm like, and I know he takes that serious, but I'm like, bro, like, get that. If I was his home, I'd be like, yo, get that shit out your heart, bro. Like, come on, Mase. Like, nigga, hey, bro, you up? That man's in jail. That man is being told when to piss.
That's the worst.
When
thing
to shit, when to eat,
Yes.
when to go to sleep. That man is being told what to do every day of his life. It is totally different life than what
But
you're
that's the
living.
worst byproduct
I
of
don't
Kendrick
know,
and Drake.
because if you listen to all of the people that have ever been signed to Bad Boy, to Diddy, Puff, all of his companies, no one has a good thing to say about the man. So I don't think, I hear you because he is kicking a man while he's down, but Diddy didn't give a fuck when he was kicking him either. So
Or was he
That's what
doing,
I'm-
or was he
a
doing
lot
the
of the
business that he
stories-
was taught to do? Because see, that's something we don't talk enough about in our world is that bad behavior is taught. And by the way, does anybody from Das EFX own their publishing? No. Does anybody from you know what I'm trying to say? Like rappers from the '90s own their publishing. That was a normal thing. Like we didn't know what publishing was until like Jay-Z and talked this and Nas. It was like he got
Shout
your
out
publishing.
to LA and Babyface.
But I
They
don't
never
think
took public.
it's not just publishing, but the treatment, the blocking doors, all of those things. I think that it's. I hear you. I'm just saying you can't. All I'm saying is that the way that a man reacts when he can finally get his get back, I do think it's a little lame to drop it on the day of his thing. But also, I don't want to hear a Mase album. But that's his prerogative if that's the way he wants to get his get back.
It's somebody you know that I don't like. We know who it is. It's one person I don't fuck with. If he was going through this right now, do you think I'm publicly like, man, I'm about to go take a gummy to his fall? Do you think I would do that?
You're not gonna give a fuck.
I also wouldn't do that.
Can I tell you why?
I can't blame him.
The reason why is because I'm fulfilled. I'm telling you, bro, like when you're fulfilled, you don't want to hurt people. When you like, maybe you're dealing with something, but I'm telling you, as much as I don't like old boy, if he was right here, I'll be like, that's fucked up. I know his mom love him. I just don't like him. But nigga, I'm not gonna be like, where's the popcorn? I'm about to watch a nigga die. It's like,
Plus, you know what I hate about
that's
this
not
business?
God like. To me, that's not God like coming out my mouth. That's what I would say. When I say stuff out my mouth, guys, I think about how God would feel about it. And I'm like, if I wish bad on somebody or want to see something bad, then I'm like, well, God is like, well, you can't get mad if somebody does that to you.
And I'll say this, I'm tired of, we've all been a victim to a bad situation, a bad deal, being marginalized in the music business. I hate the victim thing. It's part of the business. Like, you're an attorney. Everybody who's ever signed a deal, I would venture to say that 98.9% of them have all had an attorney. You signed it at the time because it was best for your circumstances. Looking back at it now, it's like, damn, I shouldn't have gave that nigga my publishing.
No, but I'll give you an example. That happened to us. We did a deal with a lawyer who I'm still close with. Deal was great for us at that time. 8 years later, we didn't want to be in that deal no more. By the way, we had to restructure the deal. That's why I'm like, nobody's in bad deals. If you survived, you're going to get another album. If you put the lights on, they will renegotiate, Jack, just to keep you flowing. Mm-hmm. What else we got?
Oh,
Oh Lord, can we get a counter like every time we mention his name?
no.
'Cause they say we don't talk
So
about his name all the time.
it seems like our show has become a lot about sexual allegations and sex crimes.
It's the world. All we talk
There
about is what's
has
happening
been
out
a
there.
lawsuit filed against Druski and Odell Beckham Jr. That alleges that they brutally raped a woman. I think it's 2 separate lawsuits, and it was happening at a Diddy party.
Shout out to Druski, because Druski said, what year was it? 2000. He said, okay, yeah, because I was living with my mama and broke.
He was lying.
In 2018
He said I wasn't even
with
on
no
at the
notoriety.
time.
So
I
tell me
wasn't
how
even
that
getting
shit
invited
happened.
to Diddy parties.
That's my point, bro. Like, it's people. It's like we live in a world now where the victims can say whatever they want, and if they think you are the criminal or the bad person, that they can say whatever they want to you. That's where we live in now. A victim can say whatever they want as long as they saying they the victim, and the people that they saying did it can't say nothing. And this is a prime example of that. Like,
Well, I think we should change your wording. I think because victims should be able to say what they want about the people that have hurt them. So if it's an actual, if it's a victim, yes,
I'm glad
I think
you
that
said
she should
Let-
be able to say what she or he or she,
But-
because it's not just women.
but what I'm
victims,
saying is that is if we went to court and we proved that you are actual victim.
There you go.
What is it saying? You are innocent until proven guilty.
Absolutely.
You now, when it comes to these kind of allegations, they kill you publicly. Thank God Druski has record. Like, nigga, I wasn't even famous in 2018. But what if he didn't?
And I can sue you for defamation, but the die is cast at that point.
Absolutely, you can.
The what?
No,
the
the die is cast because it's like, okay, so here's the thing. Stanza goes out tomorrow and she says, at the next show, you're like, I need to just say this. Somebody on the set of That's Debatable grabbed my ass last week and I'm pissed off.
They know better.
But here's the
I'm just
kicker.
kidding.
Here's the kicker. We're immediately in the public's eye, and everybody that supports you like, I knew that. That nigga's crazy. And now whoever did it is bad-mouthed and shamed, but you lied. So now everybody's like, well, some people are like, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. It's my reputation too, though. Like, you don't get a chance to trample that.
But if they did lie, I do think that people should sue them for defamation.
But I agree with Ray. It should be gag order until it's
an
proven
affirmative
what
defense
I
of
am.
defamation is that it was not true. That's why Cardi B won hers against the Tasha K, because it was a lie. She told the people that Cardi had herpes, and that's easily
Right.
defendable. You can prove that she don't got, but you can't spread that lie. So all I'm saying is, I think it's treacherous waters. I think it's very murky, and I think it's dangerous on either side, because victims should be able to say that they were, if that's what happened, absolutely. But we only have a justice system that they can use to prove that. And if it does come out on the other end, because everybody, like for instance with Diddy, they didn't believe it. A lot of people were not made believers until he saw them punt Cassie and throw a lamp at her.
That doesn't mean that he did that to
saying,
20 other women, though.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it made it more believable when
agree.
they saw that. A lot of people were like, oh, he might have did what they said he did, because a lot of people were not on Cassie's side initially. Oh, it's just a money grab. Oh, she just want this. She wasn't saying that when she was at the lavish parties and living this lavish lifestyle. And then people started coming out. Young jocks started coming out saying that if the weird stuff that they were seeing, that it looked like people were coming out saying that she was being abused, and then the video surfaces, and then it's like,
But you know what I think?
So all I'm saying is that yes, some people are lying.
We had
some
this
people
conversation
are,
about
but
statute of
everybody
limitations.
is not lying about being a victim.
No, I agree.
Of a sexual crime.
And I don't want to
It's
say that.
not.
I don't want you to think that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Because I'm making sure that is not what I'm saying. I'm saying,
think that's what
no,
you're
what
saying.
I'm saying is that if a victim can be loud about what happened to them, and the world is like, support the victim, then the person that can be just as loud about it not being me, and people give them the same benefit of the doubt.
But this is what I think.
That's what I'm speaking about.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
but that's not the world we live in.
This is why
that
I
is not the
said-
world we live in. Unfortunately, we don't hold weight on the people. We have to use the system, and then you prove your innocence.
So here's the
unfortunately,
system.
that's just not how the world is set up.
Because our laws are not designed to protect or correct anything, really. It's designed to stall and basically give some sense of comfort. This is what I'll say. You make a law that says if you are found lying in defamation where it's been proven, you start at zero. I get everything. I get your bank account, I get your house, I get all of it. Why not? You lied on me. You tried to destroy me, right? So I want you to start back at one. Make the laws harsher, and this is what I talk about statute of limitations. If you are guilty of rape, sexual assault, whatever, 20 years mandatory. Same way with Fed crime. You use a gun, that's 5 years mandatory. Off bat, if there's a gun involved. Make it the same way. I guarantee you crime and the bullshit will slow
I do
to a damn
agree.
halt.
There should be a punishment for people who falsely tell stories.
Absolutely.
Because I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, as a man, I don't worry about it, but
also
it's still
agree.
something that you know can happen because, like, I've seen, like, listen, man, everybody's predators. Women are predators, men are predators, and it's just different things we preying on. Men are preying on the physical of women, and women are preying on the money from a man. It's the same concept. So
Listen,
that's just the
I'm
truth.
gonna tell this one story. You'll remember this. We were at the Artist Factory. This is like 2008, 2009.
Be careful, nigga. You give it to
So Hicks, Hiram Hicks, if you're watching this, it is what it is. But we had that building. Hiram went up. He went on like a world tour with Puff. We had that building on fire. I'm talking about Rock City. It just got hot. We had the building on fire.
Yep.
So I'm sitting back like, all right, we making money hand over fist. This is cool. I get a call that says, I got to talk to you. And this is an executive. I'm like, yeah, they know what's popping. I'm thinking, damn, we are done. And they like, yeah, I heard you've been having such and so in your office. I'm like, what? Who? Oh, the dancer. I'm like, a dancer in my office at the factory? I'm like, whew, boy, you got the right nigga, but for the wrong crime. It's all good. But my point is, somebody out there is spreading the bullshit. And again, I had to go clean that shit up. But I'm a guy who's running a building, an entire building that people are sending kids to. It's a family atmosphere. So now the die is cast. Can I go to each person and clean it up? Wasn't me. I was innocent. Yeah, but to some people, it's like, man, B. Miller probably did that shit. You know what I'm saying? So again, I want harsher punishment.
It's like a scar you can't.
Yes,
you know,
it's like the red letter.
Yeah,
I want that.
if it's found that victims are lying, and
You
they're
don't believe
running-
100 and 230 women that man sexually assaulted.
and I've said that.
Yeah.
I've gone on record and said that I don't. Everybody is not telling the truth. I do think that some people are overshadowing the victims because we can get to the real victims and help them, but they're out for money. I do believe that. However, I think that's where we get, in a dangerous territory because we don't know who's a victim and who's not because we weren't there. We don't know what women experience.
So we should mind our business and not convict one person or the other person
proven.
until we know it.
That's
Let's
a
be clear.
societal thing.
No, that's not. It is not.
law.
How is it a law?
You don't have a son yet. You see it.
No,
through-
I'm saying
No,
how do you tell the world to stop that? It's just
No.
what
I'm
it
not.
is.
I can't tell the world that. I'm saying
So
you
who are
tell
you saying to
you
stop?
tell the world that by doing what Brian Miller just said. Here's a mandatory 3 years for anybody that lies on someone for a crime. Now you'll see everybody saying, I ain't lying, going through that.
Yeah, I ain't going through that
That's
shit.
and by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. You should be punished the same way. What else we got?
Absolutely. Jack, did you put this on here?
What?
Jim Jones.
Why you assume
Because
I put it on
you
there?
always want to talk about Jim Jones. Every topic that's the last one. We're gonna leave it to you because it's got something to do with New York, and he talking about Jim Jones. That's you. I know it's you. I know you. I know. Actually, I know you proposed it.
Jack, nobody did that but you.
Nobody wants to talk about Jim Jones.
Nobody had say so in the pre-production, but
No.
you told me and Stanza what we talking about today. How you ain't do it?
And how I just get single. I'm just.
So go
I'm
on
just
and
a
open
new-
it up for
I'm
us.
just a
Yeah.
new-
Yeah.
What we talking about? What you want to talk about with Jim Jones?
This the
Jim
New
Jones.
York bias thing.
He says he compares gangs to fraternities. Says
You,
fraternity.
you saw the clip of Jim
Yeah,
on Joe
I agree with him
Buttons.
on that. Gang
So
love
I thought that
fraternities.
we should talk about that. We should expand and talk about that.
So
a
you
little
did
bit.
put it on there.
Exactly.
No, I
That's what I'm
proposed it.
saying. That's what I'm saying. I know. You said it. Proposed it. It's put it, and it made it to the list. So get. What did you
Nah,
want
I
to say
wanted
about
to get
this, Jay?
everyone's take on it.
No, but what is your take on it?
I disagree, but I'm
Why do
also
you
a part
disagree?
of- Well, if this is stemming, was he speaking about the Caleb Wilson situation?
The who?
The Caleb Wilson situation.
Oh, the guy that just,
20-year-old from Southern University was being hazed while he was pledging Omega Psi Phi. He was punched directly in the chest multiple times. He collapsed, and he later fell to his demise. I was asking, was that what he was referring to?
I don't know.
No.
Okay.
So let me just say this.
I don't think it's the same.
I have gang members in my family. They really believe and treat themselves like a fraternity. Now, when they're younger, it's wild as fuck. But as you become a man, then it becomes more like maybe it's the inverse of most fraternities. It's like, like maybe you got to be in it, and then 5 years of bullshit. Then you're like, I want to grow up, maybe, or maybe you go to jail, whatever it is. But they are a fraternity, and to me, that's how I look at the world. You might as well find a way to control it than not control it. And
ain't going nowhere.
it ain't going nowhere. So why not acknowledge them as a fraternity and help them be more positive in the hood. That's what I would do. I mean, because you ain't gonna stop them. You got more kids being Bloods and Crips than anything else. Like, what you gonna do about it?
Yeah,
I don't think that we should
I kind of agree with Jim's take too. You know, I mean, most games was created for order and protection and things like that, and I don't think that everything is based upon crimes. Like sometimes it's just, you know, survival. So, and eventually you evolve into something different. So, I wasn't mad at it.
I mean, you can propose reform. I mean, look, I think it's 2025, and I think, you know, the days of the crazy gangs and things of that nature, is it's still crime going on, sure, but I think the more you empower and the more you uplift and the more you say, all right, we see you, and then, you know, give it purpose. I agree.
They had gangs in Alabama?
Of course.
Man.
Of course. Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Jack, you're just.
Yeah.
Well, why wouldn't they? It's like they got humans there. Like,
Maybe, I don't know.
Stanza, take us home.
Country Fried Country.
Get down.
Jack trying to take us somewhere else.
Cowboy gang.
Damn right.
Jack
Old
Danz,
McDonald and
ladies
shit, right?
Well, that's all we have for you guys today. That's enough out of Jack Danz that's enough Jack Danz for today. Thank you.
You are definitely the Queen's flip of this show.
Well, listen. We didn't mention that the topic I suggested last week went crazy.
Let's go.
Which
Stanza,
topic? What
Stanza,
topic?
close us out.
Woo.
What?
To our viewers,
Got the magic touch, the Midas touch.
we thank you for putting up with Jack Danz. We thank you.
Resilience challenge this evening.
Thank you for viewing. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. We are responding to comments. Ray gave me the green light to talk back to
your
y'all.
shit.
We didn't talk
so
about
I'm
Drake
gonna
this
be-
week. We didn't talk about Drake this week.
And we're not the
folks.
Drake podcast.
Not the Drake
Hey.
Let's talk about
Light
Nokia,
Skins got a break this week. We thank y'all for riding with us and rocking with us every week. That's Debatable. We see you next time.
Yup.
We ain't took-